Hey guys, Chris here with I'm very excited to say that we have a new show to review, a new Marvel show on Disney Plus. She-Hulk Attorney at Law started last week, and as you can tell, I'm super excited about it. I've been reading some She-Hulk comics recently. I got the new run. I've had a lot of fun reading it. But let me just tell you, I didn't know what to expect from the new She-Hulk show, but I watched the show on Thursday night, and I was pleasantly surprised and super happy when I walked out of that show. My first impressions were, this is going to be a lot of fun. Um, Marvel has been kind of heavy recently with Endgame and Infinity War and Doctor Strange. I feel like we've had a lot of weight on our shoulders, and it feels like even like Falcon and Winter Soldier and Hawkeye and just a lot of heaviness to the cinematic universe right now. And I feel like Miss Marvel and She-Hulk have come along and added a little bit of just um, fun back to the Marvel cinematic universe, which is something I felt like we've been missing for quite some time. Daniel, what were your first impressions of the show?
My first impressions is that yes, it is a lot of fun. It is gut-bustingly funny. It's like what I keep telling people. There's just like some points in this show where you just cannot help but laugh really hard. And when you're not feeling well and you're laughing really hard, that sometimes be a pleasure of a pain. So, but yeah, it was really a lot of fun. I think the tone is very consistent for this show. I think they know what they want out of this like immediately. It's very much so an Ally McBeal style sitcom meets the MCU, and they merged it together so well. It's just fantastic, in my opinion. I've really had a great time so far. Can't wait for more. How about you, Josh?
Yeah, the comedic timing of Tatiana Maslany is great in this show. I know she's done like Orphan Black and some other like science fiction based stuff, but to see her in a comedy was just wonderful. I love the way she pulls it off. She makes it believable. You believe she is She-Hulk, and then when she breaks the fourth wall and starts talking to the camera, it's just great.
Right, and we didn't have. Yeah, go ahead, Daniel.
Yeah, lots of nods to John Byrne, like John Byrne's version of She-Hulk here. It's very much heavy in his image, really. Definitely,
Right,
especially with the fourth wall breaking.
right, and we get a little bit of Dan Slott's run as well in this. Um, we didn't even have to wait that long for the breaking of the fourth wall because I mean she walks out of her office at the lawyer's office and the first thing she does is turn and look at the camera and starts talking to us, and we kind of get the whole story of how she became She-Hulk. Things were changed a little bit in the show compared to what we had in the comics about how she became She-Hulk. But I was not real upset with it. I think Marvel handled it well, as they always do. It seems like Feige and those guys over there know what they're doing, and they know how to make everybody happy most of the time. So yeah, just I really enjoyed, again back to the first impression, just how much fun it was. It was a lot of fun, even at a point where we're eating Cheetos out of a bag with chopsticks in order to keep from getting cheese fingers. That was pretty fun to me. So, uh, Daniel, what was probably your favorite scene in the show?
Honestly, just her coming out of that death trap and basically talking to him like, dude, what the hell? And she's like basically shocking him and realizing, that hey, I know I'm not an uncontrollable rage beast, basically, and explain it like just that sequence in combination with explaining how she's able to really control her rage because she's been doing it for so long. I think that's added a layer of realism to how a woman's experience is in the real world at this point. So definitely enjoyed that quite a bit. I think that's something that I think a lot of audiences can connect with, especially considering the MCU has such a large female fan base that I think some fans kind of take for granted every once in a while.
Right, right. Yeah, I thought it was really cool, that she, he had this cool ledger where he had figured out, like he said, it took me 15 years to write this, to how to control the anger. And when she says she's already controlling it, he rips out like the first quarter of the book. He's like, "Well, I guess we don't need that anymore." And so that was pretty funny to me. It was, yeah. Overall, I think my favorite by far scene was, and it was an extended scene, was the actual fight between the two Hulks when they got into a fight with each other. Um, just to be able to see two Hulks on screen fighting each other at the same time, visual effects was stunning that they were able to pull that off and not make it look hokey. We even got that all too famous Hulk slap that we get, which causes people to get blown halfway across the universe most of the time. Of course, obviously, it doesn't affect the Hulk as much, but yeah, the fight scene by far was my favorite. Just seeing them fight each other and then kind of make up when they get done fighting. But Josh, how about you? What was your favorite scene in the show?
I'm gonna go towards the end of the episode for my favorite scene. And it goes back to her as a human. She's in the courtroom. She's getting ready to give her final closing remarks in the case, and Jamila Jamil breaks through the wall as Titania, and nobody but Jennifer's best friend knows that she's She-Hulk right now. And she looks at her and says, "Hey, you got to do your thing." And then she tells her, "Hey, shoes." She-Hulk. She takes her shoes off, turns into She-Hulk, kicks Titania's butt, turns back into Jennifer, pulls her ripped sleeve of her jacket back up, puts her shoes back on, and says, "I'm ready to give my closing remarks now."
Definitely a great exclamation point for her character right there. Really.
Yeah,
I thought that
yeah,
was great.
a great way to introduce herself to the world is, "Hey, by the way, I'm also She-Hulk. You know, I'm already a powerful lawyer, but I'm also She-Hulk now." I'm really looking forward to the next episode. I think it's just going to be a lot of fun. And so far, it's been fun. We know from the trailers we've seen so many different cameos. You know, who knows who's going to show up every week? We already know Abomination and Daredevil are lurking around somewhere, so that's the Daredevil thing gets me super excited because I really am excited for that.
It makes a lot of sense when you have a show about a lawyer that Matt Murdock is going to be there. That's all I'm going to
Yeah,
say.
yeah, absolutely.
The writer and producer for the show, in an interview I saw last week, said they went in and they went in with this list of characters, and Marvel said the only one you can't use is Spider-Man. So
Right,
I mean,
right,
they went in and had, pretty much the toy box to play with.
right. And if we could ever snatch Spider-Man back from Sony, that would all change. But
Yeah.
you know, one day, one can only hope that we'll enjoy Spider-Man completely in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Just let him have Tom Holland and let him have Venom, and like, please stop with all the rest. That's all I ask.
Well, guys, before we do the overall review, a couple of threads were laid, and you know how Marvel is good about that. That ship that attacked the car, that called the car caused the car crash, was from Sakaar,
Yes.
and they're
Yeah,
looking for the Hulk.
right.
And my understanding from reading some stuff this week is like Universal's rights to the Hulk are getting ready to run up, and Marvel's about to get those back, which means we could get a World War Hulk movie or even
Right.
so.
I would love to see it. Absolutely love to see it.
And I
You're
think
right,
that's what
and
they're building towards.
right, and a lot of people don't realize that the Hulk had a son, and he's part of that World War Hulk. His name is Scar. So
Yeah.
I would love to see that. That would be great to see.
And
Yes. I mean,
before
you
we
could
move
have an Avengers level event off of the Hulk coming back from Planet Hulk. So
yes.
that's something that you really, really, really hope that they can get put together and get give the weight it really needs, and not just
Yeah, absolutely.
throw away in a
Actually,
Thor movie for a second.
yeah,
But I
maybe the
still
Hulk
enjoyed
will
that Thor
finally
movie.
get. Maybe the Hulk will get his respect he finally deserves to get because he is one of the best and greatest Avengers, and so far he's been like only a partial character. He needs to get his own, on showcasing the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah,
Um,
and
even though
we
we had the Ed Norton movie, which wasn't that great, but we'll still take it for
I
what it
enjoyed
is. Yeah.
well, speaking on the Ed Norton movie, so She-Hulk got his blood in her, and that's how she became She-Hulk. Does that mean we have a Stan Lee Hulk running around somewhere? Because he drank the Hulk's blood in that cameo.
Yeah, he probably is somewhere running around. So that would be a heck of a cameo to show up. We'd be forlorn to mention that also Marvel has pulled their little stunt where there's a scene where, and I'm not sure exactly, Josh may know exactly, it might have been in the bar when she was first going in after she had become the Hulk the first time. There is a QR code hidden on the wall, and if you scan that QR code, it will get you a digital copy of the Savage She-Hulk #1, which is the first She-Hulk comic that we ever see.
Nice. I was
So,
going to ask if you guys had seen it. I was looking for it and hadn't found the QR code yet.
Is that the Marvel graphic novel?
it's actually
I know there was a graphic novel that John Byrne did that was one of the first She-Hulk stories, but I can't remember.
no. This is actually the Savage She-Hulk. This is before. This is an old comic, like the first run of She-Hulk comics that Marvel ever put out.
Okay.
So, yeah, John Burns is called the Sensational She-Hulk. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was like an original graphic novel that they did like in the 80s that I was just thinking about for some reason.
Yeah, there absolutely was. So overall impressions of the show. Let's get to that, and then we'll kind of wrap it up. I'll go first. Daniel, you can go after me. Overall impressions, just absolutely in love with Tatiana Maslany. I think she was amazing. She is making me want to go, and I've never watched a single episode of Orphan Black, but I've heard really good things. So I'm thinking I'm gonna have to go back and check that out just to see, because she has done she just did an outstanding job as Jennifer, and just the way she played the part, and it felt like she just fit. You felt like, sometimes when you put characters in, they don't fit, but it felt like that she and Mark Ruffalo had been acting together forever and that they were cousins, and, they argued. And there's some really great banter when you first get them together where they're talking about Captain America. I'll leave that for you to watch. Pretty fun part of the show. Make sure that when you watch it, also make sure you watch the end credits. Not only for the artwork, but there is an end credit scene. How about you, Daniel? What did you think?
Definitely, I think we're all kind of on the same page here. I think it's incredibly hilarious. I think it was a great setup, and I think that, yeah, like you said, Tatiana Maslany is great as Jennifer slash She-Hulk. I'm ready to see her really kind of get settled into her life as a lawyer now, and like, interacting with the characters now. It was a great setup though, just to give her origin and then kind of show you where the show is going there at the end. And yes, definitely watch the end credit scene. Now to you, Josh.
Yeah, I mean, the show is great. The comedy, the chemistry between the characters, it all just fit together so nicely. And I'll tell you, when that end credit scene popped up, I laughed so hard I was crying. I was dying laughing. It was hilarious.
Yeah, it is. It's one of the funniest end credit scenes I think Marvel's ever done. It's just the beauty of it.
Yeah. And yeah, so if you haven't had a chance to watch this first episode yet, go ahead and watch it. Our review's going to pop up. You should be watching this on, I believe, Tuesday night, because the show will be on Thursday. So catch a look at that first episode. It's fairly short. It's not too long that you couldn't watch it real quick before you watch that second one, before it kicks in. I'm excited to see where they go. If you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe to our channel. Ring that bell for notifications, and She-Hulk smash that like button, guys. Go for it. And
check out us on social media as well. Here we've got every one of them.
Yes, check our social medias. We will be at Craven County Comic Con on September 3rd at the
Craven County Fairgrounds.
Craven County Fairgrounds. Craven County Fairgrounds. So check us out there, and we'll be in the shop if you're watching this on Tuesday night, tomorrow, looking at the new comics. So until next time, we will see you at the con and see you at the shop.
The shop.